Hello. So, as you know, the Simpsons are not, the Simpsons. There are a few Simpsons predictions. You can look up other videos about those things that the Simpsons predicted that actually came true, and so on. What we have here is another one that hasn't come true, but appears like a prediction or some sort of warning, at least, and it's related to the June 21st date that is also featured in various different places, but most clearly in I Pet Goat 2 and Operation Blackjack, where 621 comes up. I am not going to, so I'm going to just say this by way of preface or introduction here. I don't make predictions about what's going to happen. I don't think that this is a prediction about what's going to happen on a specific date in particular, necessarily. I have no clue. But what I am saying and what I try to do in these videos is understand or explain what is being communicated by them. And I'm not, as you'll see, this isn't a stretch what I'm doing today in this video. We are explicitly told in the video, basically, to watch for what I'm going to alert you to. Okay? So, the episode is to Surveil with Love. I forgot what season. I think season 21, but you can look it up by the episode name, To Surveil with Love. And it's about surveillance, the surveillance state. Basically, the big picture here is Homer is taking his bag home at the nuclear plant. Somebody put plutonium in his bag. He accidentally forgets it, and he leaves it in the Springfield Union Station, the train station there, and it's an unattended bag. People panic. They call the bomb squad. They blow it up, and ends up being spread around that this is on the media and so on, that this was a dirty bomb, nuclear attack, terrorist attack, and that leads to a surveillance state. Okay, so that's the big picture, what goes on in the episode. And the opening, the Simpsons usually begins with Simpsons or whatever, and then you get your normal Simpsons song and some creative introductions. This introduction is different. It has a totally different song. They don't use the Simpsons theme song at all. They use a song called Tik Tok. It's one of these pop songs. It's a pop song, but I don't remember who it's by. Shakira. I have no clue. You guys who are into that probably know better than I do. I guess it's sort of embarrassing. I don't know, but I guess Seinfeld didn't know who she was either one time. So there's that. But she's big, popular song at the time, and this is the intro song, Tik Tok, pointing to clocks. Okay, and Tik Tok, make it stop. I don't remember. You can look up the lyrics. They're more about partying, I think, than anything else. But it has a use in this video, in this episode, which is interesting. They're pointing out clocks. If you look at the intro, when this Tik Tok is going on, look at Marge comes into the bar. She's getting Homer, and she's saying, "Look at my watch." She points at it a couple times, and they rush. She's in a panic. They rush out. See, they're running home. But on the way home, you see apparently a representation of God dancing with the devil, and they run home. When they get home, in this panicked hurry, he's scared too. See, everybody's a little worried. They're not little, a lot. They open the door, and the kids are panicked too. Lisa's also pointing to her watch. Tick tock. This is a countdown. It's a warning. It's an alert. Look, it's dangerous. Keep an eye on the clocks. Keep an eye on the watches. So this episode, all the numbers that we're going to look at we're just looking at clocks in the episode, and there is a series of clocks that are important. There are also some clocks that I don't think are important, but I'm going to show them to you anyways, just so you have them, and you can pause your video, look at them, think about them, and so on. Okay, but let's go ahead and take a look at the series of clocks that I think are certainly important in this episode. Uh-oh. My computer's moving. Here we go. Okay, so take a look. This is the scene that happens when the unattended bag which is carrying the plutonium and will later become a dirty bomb, blow up and be called a dirty bomb. When there's panic, when people leave, they're running, this guy here stands outside the Springfield Union Station. The people inside are starting to panic. They're going to run out and wait out here. And he yells, "Panic! Panic!" or something like that. And we have this big clock we're supposed to be watching from the intro, right? Tik Tok, keep an eye on the clock sort of thing. Okay? And the clock is featured throughout this. And this is an important clock. I'm not stretching this. When this detonation happens, it flies away, okay? It flies away and lands in Homer's backyard, and you're clearly supposed to look at it. Okay, he's looking at it. This is a big clock getting central. It's featured in a big way here, okay? And if you flip it over, interestingly, it's pointing at a 9 and 11. So it's a 9/11 clock. And I don't think that's a stretch either. I don't think that's coincidental in an episode where they're pointing out botches, saying Tik Tok, changing the opening song and saying keep it on the clocks. A huge clock lands in his yard. He looks at it, and what are the odds it's a 9/11 clock, right? Okay, so now we go up here at these clocks. And so we have a panic clock, but nothing happens at that time. How are we supposed to read this? We can look at it as, just looking at the large numbers. So you have the 3 and the 4 and a 7. This is the shorthand is between the 3 and the 4. The time is 3:35. So you have 3:35. So there's a 33:5. I have no clue. This is for you guys to think about this clock. I'm not sure what it means. But if you have 3 and 3, and you wanted that to be a 7 and 7, it'd be a 7/7. Give it some thought. But this is a panic clock. Then down here, the time it says later in the day. Everybody's been waiting around. The bomb squad's been called. Everybody's worrying about this unattended bag. And look close to the time is 6:53. That means that you have a shorthand at the 6, and then the hands between the 10 and 11. Again, you don't have a 21 on there that you can point to and have a 6:21. The 6 hand would be between the 6 and the 7. This is a 6:21. I'm almost positive of that. And that's not something I'm just doing now. When this episode came out, people were already looking at this, and there was a discussion about 6:21 at that time. In fact, I think my video at the time pointed that out, that this is 6:21. Said in like 2011, 12, 13, I don't remember exactly. And so we have a 6:21 here, almost certainly. Again, I'm not positive of that, and it feels like a stretch sometimes when you're trying to figure out these things, because it's, you're looking at these numbers and you're saying, well, what can I do with it? But I'm not actually stretching here. You only have two real options. You have 6:53. Or you have a 6, and you look at the big numbers, the large numbers, the 10 and the 11. You say it's either 10, 11, or you put them together 21. It's between them, put them together 21. So there you go. So I think it's a 6:21 indicated here as well. And so we have panic, 3:35 is the time, 7/7, or a 3 and a 7, or 4 and 7. Not sure. You do what you want with that. I'm not positive. A little bit later, you have a 6:21 panic, and now it's at this time he's going to do the countdown to blow it up. Okay, so 6:21, this clock is associated. It immediately leads to this scene. He says 5, 4. We're the scene with this guy, not this exact detonation. That takes a few seconds to get to that. But he says we're going to blow it up, and then he counts down 5, 4. And he doesn't go all the way down. He stops there. 5, 4, no time for full countdown. Now that takes longer to say than 3, 2, 1. They're trying to communicate something there, I suspect. I'm not positive, but 5, 4, no time for full countdown. It's like, we're not going to get to 6:21. I don't know. No time for full countdown. He's in a rush to blow it up, and you get to a 5, 4. Maybe that's a May 4th. No clue. You guys have fun with that as well. I say have fun with it, clearly, not like giddy fun. What I mean is, think about it, do what you want with it, play around with the numbers. I don't think in this case it's a big stretch to try to do that sort of thing, as long as you don't do really crazy stuff, because the episode is clearly pointing you to the clocks. Okay? Now, so we got that. 5-4, no countdown. Then we get the nuclear detonation. And the clock, which is not appearing, lands in Homer's yard. Okay? And he's looking at it. And even this clock, if you want to do some analysis, you can. Try to figure the clock out. It's 6:55 is the time. It's pointing to a 6:11. It is the 6:21 clock. It was here when it was before it blew. It took a little time for them to prepare the blast, and they blow it up. No time for full countdown, detonation, and it lands here. It is clearly a 9:11 clock, I think. I don't think it's a stretch. You have to look at it upside down. And you have a few different things. You've got some people at the time, years ago when people were looking at this more closely, you had these bolts they were trying to figure out. Looks like a little 2 up here. I don't know what it could be. You have the longer dashes here. So you have the small dashes all the way around like a normal clock, and then suddenly you just have 2 long dashes when he could have done, the artist could have done the same pattern. There's no reason. It's not like he didn't have enough space and he needed the 2 big dashes. It doesn't look like that to me, at least. So you can think about what is being communicated here. Is there a way to get other? When these people put things like this in a video or show or whatever, they're planning differently than a normal episode. Okay, what I mean by that, they're not just drawing for entertainment. They're drawing at least certain scenes with hidden things in mind. Right? They're trying to reveal and hide at the same time. And so you can think like that when you're looking, we can think like that when we're looking at videos or art that we have reason to believe falls into this category of containing hidden communications or whatnot. iPeco 2 is a really great example of that. There's no doubt that a lot of thought went into the preparation of that video, and that it was purposely designed to hide and reveal. And it's even more than just that. That one is ritual magic, and so I think I'll explain that at a different time. But that they're actually trying to communicate. It's almost like a prayer to whoever they pray to. Okay, but when I say, you can look for different things. You have the clock itself. The shape of it looks like a 0. It's round. Do we have something like that here? Does that have a second 0? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't think so. But I'm just throwing out ways to look at it so you can give it some thought. Let me know what you think. The big picture, though, here's what's going on. We have a slow computer. Okay, who's having trouble loading pictures? We have TikTok song, panicked looks, look at the clocks, run, get out of there, fast, look at the clocks, we're scared, you're here, scary times, whatever. Okay, then we get a clock that is the panic clock. He says panic with the clock. That's all that you have on the screen, panic and a clock. Okay, then you get the focus. It's almost like everybody's looking not at the Springfield place, but also at the clock. You have this clock. This is the 6:21 clock. Then this is associated with a detonation. That's why they're panicking, right? It's associated with the detonation. I don't know, on a date, around a date, in the time frame. But he says no time for full countdown, suggesting that it's going to happen before when you would expect. I don't know. And maybe with a 5-4 in mind, maybe 5-4 is totally meaningless, and the only thing that's communicated there is it happens before. No time for full countdown. It's not going to get all the way to the count. The video is about clocks at the beginning. Tick-tock, look at clocks. A countdown is a series of times, a counting. So maybe that's included. Maybe that's just, those numbers aren't significant because they're not on a clock. I don't know. But he says 5-4, no time for a full countdown. Something's being communicated there. Then you have the detonation, and then you have your clock here as it lands, which I think you're supposed to see this as the second 9/11. That's what I think is actually going on with that clock here, but maybe there's something more going on. All that is interesting and important. Now I'm going to show you the other clocks in the episode so that you can see if there's something there that I'm not making a big deal out of. The first clock on the episode is here. He gets home, and there's a clock on the wall. You have a 7. The time being looks like 7:20, or maybe it has to be 7:20 because the shorthand's before the 8, not after. But when they're drawing it, they don't draw it exactly like a clock would be necessarily. So hand is really close to an 8 for being 7:20, but whatever. Maybe it's an 8 and a 4. Maybe it's a 15 and a 4. Maybe it's, I don't know. I don't think it means anything probably, but maybe it does. Then we have this clock, 2 o'clock, 2:00, 2:12, 12:02. Those are the numbers you're looking at there. You can give it some thought. Probably I don't think this one's meaningless. It passes very quickly, and you can't compare it to what goes on with this one, where you see like panic and you have everything revolving around a clock. And then you have this classroom setting where there's a debate, and we have this clock. It does get a little more attention than some of the other clocks, except the one on the Union Station. What I mean by that is it shows up repeatedly with different angles, close-ups, and almost like it's trying to be featured. So here the time looks like 2:30. Yeah, 2:30 down here. You can see a little more clearly. So we have a 6 and a 2. I don't know if you can try to get anything really important out of that, but 2:30 or a 6 and a 2 or a 2 and a 6. And you see in the focus here, this is a case where the whole clock isn't shown. You get a look at 6, just a 6. So there you go. But maybe you can figure something out with that clock. Let me know what you think. Now there is in that episode a calendar that shows up behind Homer at the train station, I believe, I believe it's at the train station, and that calendar is for the month of April, and I don't remember if it has days X'd off, but that may be worth looking at as well. So maybe I can try that. Take a look here in 1 second. Okay, and so here is the clock. I just had to dig it up. Or not the clock, the calendar, the April calendar. So when does this, remember this is when he's in the train station. This is when he's going to abandon the bag on accident. Forget the bag with the plutonium in it, which leads to the destruction. So here we have the April calendar. I don't know, I doubt that's super meaningful, but whatever. You can put it away as a interesting observation. April, and let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that's April 21st, and that's a 21 date again. I don't know. So just to make an observation, probably not meaningful, but there it is. And then a couple other clocks. They show England. Looks like we have a Big Bend clock associated with surveillance, and the times are hard to make out, so I don't think they're really important. But the first one that shows up looks like the time I think is 2:50 or 3:50. I think it's I can't really tell. It looks like it's pointing to 2 and the 10, so I guess at 2 and the 10. Is that what it says? That would be, I guess, 1:50. By the time you're 50 minutes into the hour, the shorthand looks like it's at the 2 almost. So somewhere around there, you can look more closely. And down here we have, looks like 1:25, pointing at the 1 and the 5. Probably meaningless, but just because the episode points to clocks, I'm mentioning it. Anything related to countdown times or calendars I'm trying to throw in here for you. The sequence, though, that's important for sure is this one. Okay. All right. So there you have it. That's all I have for now. And again, no predictions or nothing here. But there's some information for you, and I think it can be valuable. Take care. Like, subscribe, and all that stuff.